Welcome back to the book of Job, to the class book of Job. We're going to continue with verses 13, 14, 15. And these are not difficult verses. These are verses that refers especially to the fact that even his relatives, his friends, what he called his brothers, basically have forsaken him. So let's look a little bit at verse 13. Achai me'alai hirchik v'yodai ach zaru mimeni. V'chadal קרובי ומיודעי שכחוני גרי ביתי ועמכותי לזר תחשבוני נוכרי, notice this is read נוכרי hayati בעיניהם. So basically saying here, my brothers, and please notice this ending E, it's not E, it's I. So that makes it, instead of my brothers, which would be achi, my brothers. This is a type 2 ending. My brothers, hirchik. Basically, rachok means to be far. Hirchik, literally, he made far. He made far, right? So basically, we can say he pushed far my brothers from me, from upon me. But literally, this basically is, he has put my brothers, or you might say relatives, it might be literally it's brothers, but Greenstein interprets relatives. So basically, he has put my relatives away from me, and also yodai. Yodai, of course, this is from the verb yada, and this is just the active participle with the suffixal ending. So the ones knowing me, the ones knowing me. So those who are knowing me also ak mimeni, from me. But the question is, of course, the question is about this verb zar, and usually some people, like for example ESV, takes it to be to estrange from me, to estrange from me, and it's understandable because we do have this noun zar here, if you see here, stranger. So some understand it to mean to estrange from me. So the ones knowing me, they have estranged from, they have become estranged from me, or they are estranged from me. But this is disputed. The meaning of this. Notice Greenstein, my friends have withdrawn from me. So understand it differently. So understanding this, my friends, those who know me as my friends, have withdrawn from me. And let's just look at the possible verb. The possible verb is notice zur here, and the kal is to turn aside with min. So here it would be helpful for you to especially check and see how is the usage in Psalm 78:30. Usage in Psalm 78:30, and so why don't you do that as you prepare for the class? But that may be a possibility. But notice again that in Psalm 58:4, but it's a different reading, it's suggested to read as an e-file. But notice again, there are very few occurrences, so it's unclear the final definition of this zur. And just from the parallel with hirchik, it makes sense maybe to understand like the ones who know me also kind of even ach, or certainly we can translate ach, certainly have withdrawn from me. That's a possibility to translate. And then it continues, v'chadal karovai. Karov is the opposite of rachok. Rachok is to be far, karov is to be close. So those close to me ceased, literally they ceased. And the idea is they ceased coming near. They ceased coming to me. And again, mayuda'ai. Now this is another participle. This is a participle of active participle kal with the suffixal ending, first common singular. But here is looks like a pual participle. So the ones who are known by me, basically the ones who are known by me, those have forgotten me. They forgot me, shakach. They have forgotten me. And let's look at the translation. So for example, my relatives have failed me or stopped coming near. We saw failed me, stopped coming near, and my close friends have forgotten me. Here is understood as friends and close friends, the ones knowing me and the ones who are known by me, translated as close friends. But this is a little bit open to discussion. But no doubt both of these expressions use the verb yada. So to know me or to be known by me. Probably not that much of a difference between these two concepts. So this is what is happening. Brothers are far from me, others have turned away from me, others have ceased coming to see me, and people basically forgot me. Everybody who I know or I'm known by, they have forgotten me. And then it continues, Garei Beiti, and this is from the verb gur, to be a sojourner. That's why some translate Garei, for example, he translates the guests of my house. So notice, of course, it's a masculine plural in construct. So translate the guest, but gur can also mean to dwell. So it's possible that those who dwell in my house, so that therefore Greenstein with the translation, the men of my household, because it's a masculine plural. So it's not necessarily the guest, but the people in my household, because notice it's in parallel with amma. Amma means the servants, the women servants, and the women servants consider me, they consider me, notice here plural, written effectively, they consider chashav, they consider me, so basically the men of my house or the people of my household and the women servant consider me zar, they consider me a stranger, and this is parallel, zar and nokri, we find them in the book of Proverbs many times, and the nokri haiti bainehim, Nokri, again, a stranger, foreigner, I have become in their eyes, right? So this is what is happening. I have become a foreigner in their eyes. This is how Job's complaint continues. And notice again these three verses that are like a bombardment of forgetfulness. I'm being forgotten. Everybody's far from me. Everybody turn away from me. The people I know, the people I'm known by. My servants, even the people in my house, they consider me a stranger. I'm a stranger, so I guess the servants and the people in the house, they cannot leave because they're still working kind of for me, but they're acting toward me like a stranger. People who are supposed to be close are far away, they have forgotten me, and the people who are still close because they have to, they actually are treating me as a stranger. This is the sad situation that Job sees himself in. And now he continues. Le'avdi karati v'lo ya'aneh. This is very simple. To my servant I call as an example, but he does not answer. He does not answer. I call. B'mo fi etchanen lo. B'mo fi. With my own mouth is usually translated as b'mo. With my own mouth. Etchanen lo. Chanan, of course, is the verb that we have. Chanan, we have the name Yochanan. The Lord is merciful. Here, probably the meaning is I ask for mercy, or I beg for mercy. Some translate. With my own mouth, I beg for mercy for myself, from him, from my servant. But apparently it's not happening. Ruchi zara leishti. My breath, this is very clear, my breath or my spirit, literally my wind, but most likely referring to my breath, to my wife, zara. Again, we have the verb zar, and it's interesting that here actually seems to be meaning something else. I mean, it could be that it's strange to my wife. I guess it's a possibility, but more understand it that, yeah, my breath is strange to my wife, so that is a possibility. But notice some understand it as is foul to my wife. The breath is foul to my wife. And here, notice b'mo, it's formed from preposition b plus maybe ma or mo, so it means through in. In this case, In this case, it's also here in Job 19:16, the verse that we're looking at. So through, in my mouth, with my own mouth in this case. But notice zur, this is the third zur, and something is to stink or to be loathsome, but notice this is the only occurrence that it means something like this. But there is a cognate in Arabic, dayar apparently, and in other languages, so it makes sense that this is what it means. So my breath in this case is not strange to my wife, but I think it's better to go with is foul or stinks. It stinks to my wife. My breath stinks to my wife. V'chanoti livnei bitni. V'chanoti. V'chanoti. Something. Chanoti again. It's my. Chanoti. My what? To the sons of my, literally to the sons of my womb, so basically to my children. And for Chanoti again, we have to look it up, and notice here we saw Hanan and Chanoti. Chanoti is actually a perfect, to be lonesome, but again it's a hapax, as you can see, and I had to actually look it up because it's so rare that it only appears one time. So again, it's understood as a verb, as a cal perfect. So yeah, and it's not, and it's so sorry, it's not a suffix. It's my mistake. It's the ending t of a cal perfect from the verb chanan, and it has become loathsome. It stinks, and it has become loathsome. It's become something hateful to my children. That is important to take a look at. Gam avilim maasu vi. Maasu. Even children. Usually this is how I'm not so. Even children have rejected me. Akum vayedbaru vi. So I rise up, and they are speaking against me. But again, most would go with children. So even young children, avilim, even young children despise me or reject me. Actually, we will see this verb at the end of the book of Job, where Job despises maybe himself. We'll have to see in chapter 42 or toward the end. And I rise up, and they speak against me. V. Of course, again, the ending E, first common singular. Even young children, but notice other people translate this differently. You might want to look at other translations here. Even young children despise me. When I rise, they talk against me. So this is the situation again that Job is in. Even his servants, even his wife and children basically think that he stinks. It's time to stay away from him. And even young children despise him. Now Job continues with this, and continues talking about his friends. Notice what he says. Tiavuni kol matei sodi, v'ze ahavti nefpachu bi. Again, bi. We saw a series of alai, upon me, against me. Now we see a lot of things that have to do with bi. Again, bi, with the meaning here probably against. So here we have a verb, pl. It's a pl perfect. It's plural. They do something to me again. And here, this is one that we also have to look it up. And here, matei sodi is literally the men of my counsel, the men of my inner circle. That's why some translate ESV, my intimate friends. Greenstein, more literally, the members of my circle, the men of my circle. So, but the men of my circle, they abhor me, because this is the meaning of this verb in PL, ta'av. So the men of my circle abhor me. The men of my counsel is kind of somebody that, was close to me. I was kind of taking a counsel of. It's kind of people from my circle. Even they hate me. Vazeh, and this that I loved, literally this that I loved, now is turned against me. Right? they have turned against me. So this is given as an example. This one that I left, they are turned. They have turned against me. And the complaint continues. Ba'uri u vivsari davcha atzmi. Literally, etzem means bone. So my bone, davka stuck or clung. It's like the man and the woman that the man shall become a husband and wife, and they shall cleave to each other. It's kind of the same. It's the same verb. So my bone stuck or cleaved. Bauri u bifsari. Here is like skin, and this is the flesh. The flesh. So basically, my bones, literally my bone, but many translate my bones. My bone stuck to my skin and to my flesh, just showing how weak and how skinny I guess he's become. Vet malata beor shinai. This is a very questionable. It's a very questionable translation, but literally the translation is, and I escaped, malat, to escaped, or I saved myself in a sense, because it's a hit pa'el. But most translate I escaped by the skin of my teeth. This is teeth, and this is again a skin. Notice ori, it appears again. And I have escaped alive by the, or with only the skin of my teeth. I have escaped alive with the skin of my teeth, only with that. So this probably means that not much is left of me, just very little is left of me. Is an expression that we might not be aware of, or some people completely question this. And notice, for example, Greenstein understands this malat from Aramaic, later Aramaic. I am cemented at the skin of my teeth. He understands it that his palate and the lower jaw is bound together so he cannot speak. But this would be hyperbole. In my opinion, the Greenstein understanding is not superior. I will still stay with this. I have escaped alive, perhaps only with the skin of my teeth. Perhaps an expression that almost I'm dead, just very little of me is left alive. I think that is the meaning, but in any case, this is disputed, as your commentaries I'm sure will point out. So be aware about that. And now, again, now he addresses his friends and he's asking for mercy. Let's look at this. Chanuni, chanuni, atem re'ai. So this is very, very simple. You, my friends, again, notice the plural suffix landing, first common of a plural noun. So my friends, you, and it says chanuni, chanuni. It's a kal imperative, masculine plural imperative, right? From chanan again. Have mercy, you know. We saw that nobody has mercy for me, we saw before. But now it says, have mercy, you, my friends. Ki yad Eloah naga bi. Because the hand of God, you know, touch me. Some say touch me, but that's way too weak. Nagaba, again, afflicted me. I think that's better. And here's a couple of verses that you might want to take a look at to see nagaba. It's much more than touching. It's more the idea of affliction, has maybe almost struck me. So again, if you look at Ruth 1:13, when Naomi's children die and her husband, I think she refers to God as basically afflicted her. So it's much stronger than just touch me. So I would not be in favor of this particular translation. I think it's much better afflicted me. So my friends, you, my friends, you have mercy on me, because God has afflicted me. Lama tirdefuni kamoel. Why are you pursuing me? Here, of course, the pursuit is not a pursuit of love. It's a pursuit of, like of an enemy. Why are you pursuing me like God? Kamo. Kamo is just another way to refer like God. Perhaps it's a more ancient way. Most likely it's a more ancient way. Like God. Umi basari lo tispa'u. and from my flesh, literally, and from my flesh, you are not satisfied. You are not satiated. You know, and it's like almost like the friends are presented like some kind of animals of prey, which are pursuing him and are trying to eat his flesh. He says, guys, my friends, don't do that. Have mercy on me. You're not satisfied with my flesh. You are acting toward me like wild beasts who are preying on me instead of helping me. And of course, this is where we find the great passage of hope that is going to come very, very soon. Mi ten eifo v'yikatvun milai. Mi ten b'sefer v'yuchaku. B'eit barzel v'ofaret la'ad batzur yechatzavun. So mi ten, we're familiar now with this expression. Oh that then. Oh, that now, eifo, meaning then or so or now. Perhaps, according to the lexicon, oh, that now, milai. Again, we saw this word many times. It's the equivalent of davar. And here it's my words. Oh, that my words were written. Clearly, this is a nifal. We notice that it's a nifal because of the doubling of the first consonant and the long a. Oh, that my words, oh, that now my words were written, and oh, that in a book, they were inscribed, engraved from hakak. Again, it's a hofal, v'yuchaku. And oh, they were inscribed in a book, in some kind of a book. B'eit barzel v'ofaret. Here simply with the stylus of iron. Some translate with the pen, but I think it's better with the stylus. So the pen is too modern of a word. The idea was of a stylus with an iron stylus and a lead, and it's lead from the noun oferet. La'ad batzur yechatzevun. So yeah, forever. This simply means forever. In the rock, they were again engraved. They were engraved or inscribed here. Here probably better is maybe inscribed in a book. And here the idea is to be engraved in a rock. So he wants this. He wants his words to be inscribed so they will never perish. And apparently somebody did inscribe them. I don't know if they did it with a pen of barzel and lead, but they inscribed his words because we still have them today, apparently. This is his wish. And now actually the statement of hope that we're familiar with, and again this is probably the most quoted verse in the book of Job. Actually, surely it appears in verse 25. Va'ani yadati goali chai va'acharon alafar yakum. This is a verse I strongly recommend you memorize. Va'ani yadati goali chai va'acharon alafar yakum. But I know, goali, literally the one. Again, notice we have to deal, it's not goel, it's actually an active participle. It's from the verb gaal. The one redeeming me, chai, is alive, lives. So, but I know, or for I know that my Redeemer lives. The one redeeming me, and therefore my Redeemer lives. And at last, or in the end, or afterwards, we could translate maybe afterwards, alafar yakum, he will rise literally upon the dust, but here from the context probably on the earth. He will rise from the earth, on the earth, upon the earth. And then, v'achar, Greenstein translated the respondent, or the second party. The deity sued by God will rise and testify on earth. That's how he understands the first part. V'achar uri nikafu zot u mibasari echze Eloah. This is very, very simple, this part. From my flesh, or in my flesh, I shall see God. Notice chaza It's another verb used in Hebrew to see. We're familiar with Ra'ah. Chazaz also appears, and we are more familiar with the word Jose, the seer, the one who sees, the prophet. But this is also a verb that is used in Hebrew, even though more rarely than Ra'ah. So this is simply, from my flesh I shall see God, but this part is more difficult. V'achar uri nikafu zot. This makes very, very little sense. Literally, after, or at, and after my skin, we've seen this noun, or skin, after my skin, notice it's masculine singular, but then we have a plural verb, pl from nakaf, and then we have this, it's actually feminine singular, so it makes very little sense. This is also a very difficult phrase to translate. And notice how the people translate, and after my skin has thus been destroyed. Let's look at the verb nakaf. Nakaf here. We have nakaf in pl, to cut down, to flay probably, to tear the skin to shreds. Again, based on this particular text, but it's questionable. It's not understood. So it's not clear. So and we have here, it's very difficult to translate it. Therefore notice some of these translations. The literal translation, and afterwards my skin they flayed this. So this is the literal translation. Afterwards my skin they flayed this. But this is feminine singular and doesn't make much sense. And again, therefore, notice how some translate some translate like this: after my skin has been destroyed. Or Greenstein: from behind my skin I look out, while in the flesh I see God. From behind my skin I look out. From behind my skin I look out. He would then understand this a different verb. A different verb, not this particular verb. And he would do a little bit of emendation. And in any case, again, make sure you consult your dictionary. But it's still clear that somehow, even though he's in a difficult situation, he expresses the hope. The hope is very clear from the second part. From my flesh I shall see, in my flesh I shall see God. Asher ani echzeli veineni ra'u velo zar kalu kilotai b'cheki. So okay, which I will see for myself, literally, which I will see. We see again chaza. I will see for myself. Veinai ra'u, and my eyes will see again. My eyes, I will see myself, and my eyes will see. Velo zar, and not another, and not a stranger, not another one. We saw zar again. Zar usually meaning a stranger. Kalu kiliotai b'cheki. So again, this is disputed how to translate, but kilotai literally means my inward things that are inward. Many people translate my heart in my bosom, my heart in my bosom, right? Or within me, faints. Is it faints, or is it longs, or is it yearns? It's possible that, and I would tend to agree with Greenstein here. For Greenstein, my inwards wear away within my breast. Actually, now I would not agree with Easter with wear away, but I would agree with my innards. My innards wear away. Probably it's better to translate my inwards are longing in my chest, inside me, inside me. This is the idea that, and this is just the wonderful and the most hopeful passage, probably in the book of Job, and the most famous. Even though Job sees himself as wasting away, he sees still the possibility that somehow in his flesh he will see God with his own eyes. He himself, he yearns, he longs for this to happen, but of course, he longs for this to happen because why? because his Redeemer lives. His Redeemer lives, and he hopes, he somehow hopes that he will rise at last, and he will stand upon the earth. This is the great hope of Job in the middle of despair, in the middle of a time when everybody has forsaken him, in the middle of the time that everything is going on the way down. And then, of course, we have the last two verses, and I will let you work on these. I just put for you some of the verbs. Notice here, gur, however, is not the gur of sojourning, but this is the gur of being afraid. So there's a gur 1 and there's a gur 2. So just be aware about that. And look at this and just come prepared to discuss this great and famous chapter, which is full of despair, full of forsaking, full of criticism to the friends and complaints to God, but at the same time, which a great expression of hope. So I'm just going to slowly go over this, and I will let you prepare for this class. Thank you and God bless.